Advertising is what brings leads. Leads convert to customers, and customers make the clients money. We are not average. We're a premium ad agency. The most important thing is how to capture the attention of people scrolling on the internet. Are you guys ready to learn about some ad business?
Yes.
Drop some knowledge.
This is an important session because one of the key pillars of our service is selling advertising. Advertising is what brings leads. Leads convert to customers, and customers make the clients money. So it's a very core service. It's not something that is luxury. And so we have to treat it with the respect it deserves. To create ads that are effective is not a simple ChatGPT, hey, write me scripts for ads.
You're right.
You will get very cliche, very average sounding ads from the average of the internet. Mm-hmm. But we are not average. We're far from it. We're a premium ad agency that can come up with effective ads. And the reason why I'm avoiding saying creative ads, because creativity is a component of ad making that allows, maybe we can be creative in the hook. Maybe we can be creative in the visual that we use. But the most important element of an ad is the message that we lay. And that message has to come from the things that we're going to go through today, which is a framework for our team, how they need to approach ad making when they start thinking about writing scripts and ads for clients, but also for our clients to understand the depth of the service. And we just don't wake up one day and present them with scripts. They have to know that this is what goes through within Parrots Lab before we build those ad scripts. So, are you ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay. So, between your hands, there is a framework for how do we approach ads. And one golden rule at the top of that framework, it says one ad equal one avatar multiplied by one pane. What does that mean? Anybody could try to make a wild guess.
The words that come to mind is niche down. Don't write to everybody, just write to one person with one pain point, because that gets them on an emotional level. And that's what makes people decide or take action are their emotions.
But why one? Why not two pains? Why not to talk about 2 or 3 pains? Why don't to talk multiple avatars in one script and one ad?
It's too much.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to connect with an individual client, you're going to either lose them or you're going to be too broad, and they're not going to feel like you're speaking directly to them.
Yes, absolutely.
An avatar is a profile, right? It's a profile of a person. So it could be a busy mom. It could be like a hardworking, constantly on the go person. So that's what the avatar is. And then each avatar has a specific pain that is attributed to them. And so that's what we want to focus on when it comes to them, so that they could understand that we understand them and that we are here to fix the pain that they are going through.
Exactly. It's basically attention is the biggest asset. The most important thing is how to capture the attention of people scrolling on the internet. And if we overload them with multiple pain points, they're like really don't know what we're talking about.
You're right.
Sometimes less is more. So sometimes if we narrow down, let's talk to one avatar, one pain, and then move on. The next script could be a different avatar, different pain, or the same avatar, different pain, or gain, which we will come to see later. But I just want to highlight that first. If you're an account manager or an ad strategist or someone who want to create ads, and I present you with a client. We had a client meeting. We understood somehow what their business is all about. But there's always limitation to how much can you understand from one session with a client. You know, they will tell you, yeah, we are a residential cleaning service. Besides that, there's very little information that you can gather from this client. So it's up to us as an agency to do the hard work, to do our homework. And so the first 6 boxes in this framework is our homework. What should we do as an agency to come up with a clear understanding before we put ink to paper in writing the scripts? So we have to do the fundamental things before we actually start talking to ChatGPT or Claude about scripts. Before that,
I love what you're sharing, and I love that you put this together. But let me ask you, as a devil's advocate, what is the cost of not having this? What is the cost of us just being willy-nilly about it?
Waste of money.
Waste of money.
Yeah.
But what else?
Yeah. Remember, the ads are going to be the most expensive thing the client can do. If you shoot a podcast and you clip this podcast and you put it up there, although you will have 12 different reels, but there's no money behind those reels, which means that they are organic. You're shooting something on the algorithm, something will go, something will not. But with ads, we record 12 ads, and then the client has to take more money, usually in the thousands. We have a client to spend $30,000 in ads every month. So the stakes are way higher. And that's, if we don't do this exercise, we will end up with an average cliche-looking, cliche-sounding AI ads. And also we're literally hitting on the dark. Like we're shooting without aim. We don't know who we're talking to. We don't know what drives those people to take action. We don't know what levers we have to control, not to control, but to influence their decision making. We are literally being very dumb if we just shoot at people without any strategy.
Yeah, and there's no branding there. There's no professional image that comes across. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Simply, yeah.
Back in my career, when I used to be working in agencies, we used to call this document the creative brief. That's what it's used to call in agency world. At some point in my role there, we ended up going to clients to validate the creative brief before we put ink on paper. So there is a step where we go to the client to, hey, client, you said you are a residential cleaning company. Let me show you what we discovered. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
So we basically verify that the information we collected and the thought process we did is valid to the client's business before we actually go ahead and develop. Sometimes in our fast-paced world right now, we might skip that step and go directly to the client with this and the scripts itself. Kind of like what we did in our last meeting with KZ Fence.
Yeah.
Where we
And then
showed
that's
them.
where he verified and he was like, I agree, this is good, this is good. I'm not tailoring it so much to this demographic, and the reason is 1, 2, 3. Now we have that information and we're going to redirect our scripting to something else that he values.
Absolutely. And so before we get into deeper, we want to say that, okay, we had the sales call with the client where you guys are involved in the sales as well. Once we finish that sales call, we have the onboarding where we collect as much information as possible. After the onboarding, we take a week, and then we should be presenting this to the client alongside with some scripts and ad scripts. And that's kind of like to put things in perspective in terms of where this goes. Okay, let's start with the first step, which is market scan. During that first step, we will have an understanding of what service they are delivering and what price point are they at. We will have an understanding of the market, who is their competitor, and how they sell it. So, for example, take residential cleaning as well. You've got those who sell it per visit and those who sell it as a subscription model. These are two different ways of selling it. So we want to know this is how it is. We also want to know, is this company, is this positioned as a franchise, big corporation, or is it presented as a family-owned and operated professional company, or is it presented as a gig freelance worker type deal? So all of these are things that we need to do in the market scan. And then feel free to stop me at any given point to ask further questions. The other side of the market scan is what our planning team does, which is usually research the market, research the keywords that people use to find the service. This is like an SEO audit type deal. And also the most common questions that people ask about this industry needs to go into that as well. And then we have to look at the market scan, everything we collected, and see, is there any gap we can leverage? Is there any further information we need? I don't want to restrict the research only to the items I listed, because every industry has its own
Nuance.
yeah. And so I want to keep this as flexible so that we have the goal in the market scan is to really have a confident understanding of the market that we are in.
Just real quick on the market scan, I've been present when you've presented a creative brief, and the market scan is what I believe sets us apart, but yes, sets us apart because we do due diligence. But the other thing is this is when the client is being briefed on what we found in their market. And a lot of times that is like, yes, that's right. Or it's like, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. Right. So this is like really educating the client too. It's not just us doing information or finding information and giving to the client. These are a lot of times insightful conversations. At least the one that I've been a part of was very insightful on both sides. Like we learn about your business and what makes it work and how it works, but we also help you understand the market and why you're not selling well in that market, right? And what differentiates the competitors from you and all of that. So I love the market scan. I think it's super important. In the couple of things that I've been a part of for the creative briefs, it's really been eye-opening for the client.
I love what you said because I think that helps clients build trust and confidence in us when we're able to present them with information that makes them go, I hadn't thought about that before for their own industry. Yeah, that's very valuable for us.
And it happens every single time.
Think about it when the client is working inside of their business, they're kind of like inside the bottle.
Yeah.
Very much, yep.
Imagine there's a Coca-Cola bottle, right? If you're inside of the bottle, you cannot read the label. So when we approach it from a fresh eyes, we oftentimes uncover a lot of valuable insights. So 100%. A lot of clients, they would just see the market scan, even for other clients, and they will be sold to working with us just because how depth the market scan component is.
You know, I was doing this to you because... This is my way of saying, they get tunnel vision. So they're so focused on one thing that they miss all of the other stuff that is out here. And so we can redirect them and remind them, hey, all of this is available to you too, which could help them with increasing prices, having better ads to, reach out to better people or to different people. And so that way they're not so focused here, but they can now have a little bit more wiggle room.
All right. So we're clear on the first step. All right. Next step is going to be the avatars.